down, charged with assault tonight. Off-duty and waving his badge, witnesses forced to act when he grabs a woman by the neck. 0 cases, new rules. Protesters fill city streets, but weddings remain out in the cold. In the drink, police baffled by a car floating in the Parramatta River. Letters from the Prince, secret documents showing Charles backed the Whitlam dismissal. Harvest heartbreak, drought-stricken farmers have their crops destroyed by rain. Rallying cry, the President returns to the campaign trail, fighting a new COVID surge on the run home. And a Gabba deluge sets the scene for a wet and wild AFL decider, while in Sydney, Panthers fans hit the streets on Grand Final Eve.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Michael Usher.
Good evening. A police officer's been stood down, charged with assault over a confrontation at a Ryde hotel. A member of the public stepped in as the off-duty cop grabbed a woman while waving his badge around. But when police arrived, it was the bystander who ended up in handcuffs.
Outside a Ryde hotel late at night, a young woman runs into the foyer close behind a 41-year-old stumbling. He grabs her by the neck. As a security guard approaches, the man pulls out a police badge, demanding the woman leave with him before a bystander steps in. 28-year-old Levi Harama trying to defuse the situation. The two wrestle to the ground. The officer eventually restrained, flagging down a passing police car. Levi surrenders, but is then the one placed in custody. Later, though, he was released and the officer taken to Ryde Police Station and charged with 3 counts of assault. Civil libertarians say the bystander should be congratulated, not handcuffed.
Look, it's shocking that a police officer could misuse his position like that and result in an innocent member of the public who is simply trying to protect a woman who is being assaulted getting arrested.
The officer involved was stood down from duties following the incident. Today, New South Wales Police confirming steps are now being taken to terminate his employment. The man will face court next month. Cameron Price, 7 News.
A 12-year-old boy is fighting for life after being pulled unconscious from Wyong Pool this morning. Paramedics performed CPR and placed him in an induced coma before flying him to John Hunter Hospital in a critical condition. It's understood the boy had suffered a medical episode. Well, for the first Saturday in a long time, Sydney-siders have enjoyed some newfound freedoms. Protesters took advantage in the CBD, with restrictions now relaxed for rallies. But on a second straight day with no community cases, there's some frustration that the rules are inconsistent.
Sydney's Armenian community marches through the city in a now legal protest, but weddings won't see an increase until December 1. 30 hours after George and Eva Malham's daughter gets married.
The new releases come out for the 1st of December, so we just miss out.
The couple is appealing the rule that will limit their reception to 150.
It's very emotional for us now. Who do we leave out?
Adamant their venue will still be COVID safe.
The rules are the rules. Public health orders are there, and we all, we're not above the law.
Community transmission in New South Wales remains low. The state recording no new cases of COVID-19 for a second day running. That's in stark contrast to the situation in Victoria, where a fresh outbreak threatens to further delay the easing of some restrictions. Today's case spike mostly linked to a growing cluster in Melbourne's north, triggering a testing blitz.
But with so many thousands of tests that are still being processed, we need to see the results of those tests. Opening up can see case numbers explode.
But the lockdown is seeing anger explode. 16 people have now been arrested over yesterday's protest. Amelia Brace, 7 News.
Police are struggling to piece together how this car ended up submerged in the Parramatta River. It happened around 2:30 this afternoon when the vehicle carrying a trailer went headfirst into the water alongside the Silverwater Bridge. The driver escaped unscathed and set about organising salvage of the car himself. With just 10 days until Americans choose their president, the candidates were back campaigning today, with Donald Trump holding a large rally in the battleground state of Florida. Despite his claims the US is rounding the corner on the coronavirus fight, some experts are predicting it could claim more than 500,000 lives by February.
Pitching himself as a global peacemaker.
The State of Israel and the Republic of Sudan have agreed to make peace
but going to war over this.
Would you close down the oil industry?
By the way, I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I will
that's
transition.
a big statement.
It is a big statement.
Does that mean you want to get rid of fossil fuel, Joe?
Donald Trump rallies a sprawling Florida retirement community.
Actually, there are a lot of Biden supporters.
And this morning, they were casting judgment on the campaign's final debate.
I watched as much as I could handle, which was 16 minutes.
I thought it was much more civil.
I thought Trump did very well.
I didn't watch it. I can't stand watching Trump.
Donald Trump has promised to fill the campaign's final 10 days with a rush of rallies like this one. He says he'll finish with 5 of these a day.
Packing in supporters as COVID surges.
He's given up. He's quit on you.
The US recording its second worst day of the pandemic, 75,000 new cases.
If this is a success, what's a failure look like?
Tomorrow, Donald Trump plans to join the 50 million Americans who've already voted. More than 1/3 of the likely total vote already decided.
I'm voting early tomorrow in Florida. Do you believe it? I'm coming to vote. I came down here to vote.
In central Florida, Tim Lester, 7 News.
2 men are on the run after a drunken joyride took a dangerous turn in Belmore. The driver appears to have gone flying through a roundabout, losing control and smashing into a metal fence. By the time crews arrived around 1 a.m, he and his passenger had fled, leaving the wrecked vehicle behind. When found, he's facing a hefty damage bill and possible charges from police. A newly released letter has revealed the personal bond between Prince Charles and Australia's most controversial Governor-General, Sir John Kerr. In a break with royal protocol, the young prince urged Kerr not to resign, following a public backlash over his dismissal of Gough Whitlam.
A letter of support from a future king. Prince Charles backing Governor-General Sir John Kerr over Australia's greatest constitutional crisis.
Well, may we say, God save the Queen. Because nothing will save the Governor-General.
Written by hand, the 6-page letter was sent 4 months after the Whitlam dismissal. Please don't lose heart, Prince Charles says, telling Sir John what you did last year was right and the courageous thing to do. And most Australians seem to endorse your decision.
A personal letter that was written without the Queen's authorisation.
The correspondence revealed for the first time as part of a new book the truth of the palace letters.
Prince Charles, the future King of Australia, went where the Queen would never go, and that was to make a partisan intervention.
The Queen has long maintained a strict policy of not interfering in politics here in Australia or across the Commonwealth. This letter from her son, however, is a personal endorsement of the Whitlam decision.
Represents a breach in royal protocol and convention.
Reigniting the debate of just who should be our head of state.
We should not be looking to London for the operation of our democracy.
Taylor Aiken, 7 News.
They've endured major drought, farmers facing ruin in desperate need of rain, but at the right time, not when they're due to harvest the best crops they've seen in years. Well, now their livelihoods are at risk again after being pummeled by damaging storms.
The timing couldn't be worse.
We've had 55 mils of rain on top of the 25 mils we had on Wednesday, on top of the 14 mils we had last Sunday.
Crops blitzed by hail.
So that's what we were meant to be harvesting, but instead it's all just shelled out.
Farms in the Central West ravaged by drought, now ravaged by rain. This is meant to be harvest time for these Coonamble farmers.
It's a complete write-off.
They knew it was coming.
Here it comes. Most of it unfolds Friday as the whole thing just sweeps in.
It's what they'd feared. Soil now saturated, too wet for machines.
The headers are sitting in the paddocks ready to roll and farmers are all ready to go to try and get the biggest crop we've ever grown off, but we just can't get at it.
For now, it's paddock to paddock to see what's salvageable, if any.
It's just a lot of what could have been.
The damaged crops can't just stay there. Once it dries out, farmers will still have to go through the motions. Making it worse, more rain today.
It's just hard to believe it's actually happened.
Jordan Katz, 7 News.
Some major changes are coming tomorrow for drivers on the City West Link Road on the approach to the Anzac Bridge. There'll be a new access ramp to Victoria Road at Rozelle instead of the traffic lights at the west end of the bridge. Traffic from the Crescent and James Craig Road will be directed onto the new road. Well, Penrith is buzzing on the eve of the Rugby League Grand Final as devoted fans go all out in the hope that the club will end a long premiership drought. Colourful celebrations took over the suburb today as a loud hot rod convoy roared through the streets.
Penrith pride rising up from the foot of the mountain. The die-hard powering through the streets. A convoy armed with Lucky Charms.
I play it after every game when I'm leaving the stadium.
Full of hope for a fairy tale win after waiting 17 long years.
The spirit of Penrith rise to the occasion. We're going to flog the storm.
We deserve it. Great bunch of blokes as well.
With fever filling hearts and homes.
Go to the Mighty Panthers!
Opponents don't stand a chance.
What do you guys think about the Storms? Yeah, no.
Rubbish.
No. They don't have the Western Sydney charm. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
There was a mad dash for merchandise.
Comfortable in the colours?
Oh, always. Who isn't?
People are a bit cautious on what's going on, and we're trying our best to make sure that everyone's safe.
No matter the result, fans here at Panthers Leagues Club will be wild tomorrow night. Many remembering that win back in 2003.
We were excited, crying.
I've been a Panther since they started. I think it's our turn.
Ready to make their mark once more. Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
An overnight blaze has sparked concern on Sydney's North Shore after the break. Fire crews cut off as an inferno rages on the water. The grim reality as Europe's COVID surge hits dangerous new records. Hammered in high seas, a giant mission to save crew from this cargo ship. Here comes the baby boom, the spike in IVF to boost the economy. And sport is live from Penrith as the Panthers eye premiership glory.
We're getting shot at!
Stop panicking.
The only way out is to quit.
Go without me. Go. You are a liability!
Everyone has their breaking point.
You get back on that log or you give me your number. Make a decision now.
SAS Australia, Monday, 7:30 on 7.
I feel like going back home. Right now, while the mangoes are ripe. Frangipani's starting to bloom.
No, this is how I would do it.
And a bluebird is starting to bite.
I got you.
Hey, Mom, I can just taste your fish soup and rice. I'm coming back home to you. Connect the base of the city life. Soon I'll be dreaming in bed. Lazy breeze flowing through your mind.
This year,
Sky blue.
we are valuing the little things more than ever. Because they may well turn out to have been the big things all along.
You go to sleep.
Coles. Value the Australian way.
He did promise to keep her company. Was it rude to wake him? Maybe. Thank you, Roads of Australia. The Toyota RAV4, the return of recreation. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
This spring, Ladbrokes is changing the way you multi, putting the power in your hands and giving you more chances to win. With our new split and blended features, load up your multi-legs with runners from the same race, and if any of them get up, you win. Get all the racing multi-combinations you want, done in one. Ladbrokes. Back yourself.
sometimes you just have to say no. So when you say yes, it means a lot. Kinder Chocolate comes in little bars with lots of taste, so it's perfect for saying yes to at treat time. Kinder Chocolate, a little means a lot.
The greatest bravery is thinking for yourself. Out loud, so the whole world can hear. Coming soon, the 4 Series Coupe.
Oh, poetry in motion. The best place to catch an AFL same-game multi is Sportsbet. It's never been easier to find more markets, more offers and bigger odds. If it's a same-game multi, it's Sportsbet.
The secret affair. The cop with a vendetta. Now he knows every dirty little secret.
What are you going to do? You going to charge me for stealing your wife? Because that's all you've got.
I'm just getting started.
Home and Away, next week on 7.
This Sport Report brought to you by Sportsbet. Watch Sky Racing live on the app.
Welcome back. A luxury boat's been destroyed by fire on Sydney's North Shore. The vessel started burning around 1 this morning at Woolwich and was fully engulfed by the time crews raced down to the water. Access proved a bit difficult and it took more than an hour to put out that blaze. Thankfully, the boat was unoccupied. No one was hurt. What sparked that fire is still to be investigated. Major cities in Europe are fast running out of intensive care beds as a COVID-19 surge overwhelms hospitals. Coronavirus patients are being airlifted from the Netherlands to Germany for treatment. New infection records are now being set daily, with the continent reporting more cases per capita than the US for the first time since March. France has become the 7th country to reach 1 million cases, while Slovakia is attempting to test its entire population of 5.5 million people over the next 2 weeks. At least 69 people have been killed in a brutal crackdown by security forces in Nigeria.
They are shooting at us right now.
The gunshots disrupted what was, up until then, a peaceful protest in Lagos. Demonstrators have been uniting against police brutality. The movement has gained global attention, with celebrities including Beyonce, Rihanna and Idris Elba speaking out online in support. Have a look at these huge seas have hammered a cargo ship off Ireland. The 4,000-tonne vessel was no match for nature as powerful waves, more than 6 metres high, crashed over the deck. The coal carrier lost power and had to be towed clear of the coast in an operation that lasted 12 hours. 9 crew members were safely rescued. We could be in for a test tube baby boom, with more couples looking to take on the daunting task of raising a newborn during the pandemic. Demand for IVF is skyrocketing as the federal government encourages would-be parents to have a child to boost the economy.
6-month-old Hunter Smith is all smiles. His mum Laura grateful for his arrival.
Meeting him for the first time, he was just perfect.
But her journey wasn't. She and her husband struggled to fall pregnant for several years.
Every month I was being told that it was ideal conditions, but I wasn't getting pregnant.
So, like many, Laura turned to IVF. New figures show a huge IVF uptake since COVID restrictions eased. Treatment numbers up 15% from this time last year.
Lots of people may realise that maybe they can't go on holidays as much and are now prioritising starting a family instead.
The closure of international borders has halved population growth. The Federal Treasurer is keen on a post-COVID baby boom, which he says will help grow the economy and the population. But 1 in 6 couples struggle to fall pregnant, and IVF isn't for everyone. It's emotionally and physically taxing and expensive.
However, we're trying to reduce this by trying to provide as much sort of financial support and certainty.
It had its ups and downs, but at the same time, I knew that at least we were working towards something.
Samantha Brett, 7 News.
Now for the day's sport, let's say good evening to Matt Shervington, who is deep in Panthers territory. Shervo.
Hello, Michael. Yes, we're at Panthers Leagues Club. And in a little more than 24 hours, they expect to be celebrating Penrith's 3rd premiership. Today, they completed perfectly smoothly in their preparations for tomorrow night's grand final against the Storm.
Everyone wanted a piece of the minor premiers today, and the players accommodated as best they could under COVID restrictions. Inside, the players who won't take the field tomorrow were just as excited.
You can tell there's an excitement in the air, but they've handled themselves really well. They're relaxed. They've ticked every box in their preparation.
They trained at home rather than travel to ANZ Stadium to avoid any distractions.
We just want to stay chill, stay vibey, stay positive with the boys, and just soak it all in.
Recruitment manager Jimmy Jones was there in 91 and 2003. He's the heart, soul and eyes of the joint, finding every player listed to run out tomorrow.
Over many years, Michelle, you try things over different periods. We started concentrating on the Western Corridor and our local juniors, and it's really starting to pay dividends.
He's just a real asset to our club, and someone who's one of the many reasons we've been successful this year.
Jimmy's also happy to admit there's a few that did get away.
Gus, he probably tells a story about Wendell Saylor. I missed him. That was the big one, but I've learned from that and got a few right since then.
Melbourne's been getting it right for years. Into their 4th grand final in 5 seasons, they arrived in Sydney this afternoon. It's been quite an eventful afternoon for the Melbourne Storm. Of course, they have arrived here at their team hotel opposite ANZ Stadium, but their plane from the Sunshine Coast was due to touch down at Bankstown, but bad weather here in Sydney forced them to be diverted to Sydney Airport. But as I say, they are here. They've moved up to a common area, a COVID restriction. The bubble still applies. They're playing a bit of table tennis and a bit of cards, and of course, relaxing ahead of tomorrow, which is a huge day. Shervo.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, there's been late drama before the first AFL Grand Final outside of Melbourne, as a Brisbane Storm has lashed the Gabba today. Ben Davis is there.
Well, down on ground level, there's no escaping of what's coming from the sky. Luke Hodge, you've won 4 premierships with Hawthorn, but this rain, how much of it is going to have an effect on tonight?
I'm not sure what's going on. We've had 3 months up here, all sunshine. Grand Final day comes and it's raining.
Do you believe in fairy tales? Gary Ablett's got one coming tonight, game 357 and his last.
I'm hoping. 19 years, I played juniors with Gaz, watching the whole way through. Absolutely love how he goes about it. Fingers crossed the little master can have a medal at the end of the day.
All right, who wins and why?
Oh, as much as the fairy tale, growing up near Geelong, I think this rain's going to play into the favour of Richmond. They're a no fuss, they're a chaos style of football team, and they just pressure the opposition. So I think Richmond are going to be too strong.
Great insight, Hodgie. Thank you. Enjoy the call. First bounce, not too far away.
Thank you, Ben. Yes, champion jockey Glenn Boss has won his 4th Cox Plate after a stunning late run on the Kieran Maher and David Eustace trained Sir Dragonet. An emotional Boss dedicated the win to his wife and kids.
Sweetheart, I swear to God, this is just for you and Tate and Carter. This is so special for us, sweetheart. Oh, I can't wait to get home and see this all.
The Irish import beat Armoury and favourite Russian Camelot to charge into Melbourne Cup reckoning. Reigning 3-time champion Scott McLaughlin has quit supercars to race full-time in America's Indy Series from next year. McLaughlin makes his Team Penske debut this weekend, whose boss also pulled out of supercars.
Obviously, it's a sad moment for a lot of us. It's been a wild ride. I'm sure I'm going to be back for Bathurst or if someone wants me as a co-driver.
Well, Dick Johnson Racing are still committed to running a 2 Mustang team. And, Michael, it really is the calm before the storm, I guess you would say. But if they do win that 3rd premiership out here in Penrith, it is definitely going to go off at the Leagues Club, that's for sure.
It's going to be pretty wild there, there's no doubt about it. Good on you, Sherbo. Thank you for that. Well, coming up, Angie Asimus has our forecast. Angie, good evening. The wet weather is to stick around for the NRL Grand Final.
Michael, it is looking cold, wet and windy. Your detailed Sunday outlook is next.
Next up, the Grand Final is live and exclusive to 7.
Wow!
The Tigers versus the Cats in the Grand Final. Under lights for the first time.
Absolute perfection.
Can Richmond go back-to-back? Or will the superstar Cats make it a fairy tale finish?
Who will be raising the cup?
The AFL Grand Final is here. Live and free, only on 7.
The money is evenly split in the grand final. The Cats and the Tigers, the punters can't split them, but I tell you what, we've got a lot of money going through the first goal scorer, and it's all about Tom Lynch and Tom Hawkins. That's where the money's been. Value, I think Shea Bolton's been starting forward, so he represents the value. And the Norm Smith medal market, 80% of what we hold is on Dustin Martin in the Norm Smith medal. Good luck if you're punting, and please gamble responsibly.
So in the kitchen there can be a massive glue.
It's important businesses have a COVID safety plan in place to support staff, so they only go to work if they are well and have no COVID-19 symptoms. By doing this, you're helping protect customers, staff and your business.
Bye, Cocky.
Bye-bye. Finally. The way I see it, you've got two options in life. Settle for what you're given or speak up for what you deserve. Cricket. Got him. Winter is coming. See ya. Show me DiCaprio movies. You said it, Leo. Foxtel, now with voice control.
He did promise to keep her company. Was it rude to wake him? Maybe. Thank you, Roads of Australia. The Toyota RAV4, the return of recreation. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
The worldwide smash hit that brought Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper together. A Star is Born premieres Sunday.
7 News, back in 30 seconds, thanks to Belong.
On one hand, using mobile data and internet reduces Australia's carbon footprint by reducing travel and making business more efficient. But their use also creates CO2, and your carbon thumbprint may be something you have never even considered. Well, there is a solution. Belong. Carbon neutral, mobile and internet.
Now, Angie's back with the forecast. Angie, hello again. A soggy Sunday ahead.
Michael, this rain is well and truly set in. Falls are steady, not too heavy, so totals so far generally around 5 to 10 millimetres. Under the clouds, we reached a top of 26. That followed a low of 18.8, so it was a balmy night. Across the suburbs, the showers picked up this afternoon. There they are. Prior to that, tops reached the mid-20s for most centres. Now, a low is driving these showers and some severe storms. As you can see, there is a warning in yellow here for a large portion of eastern New South Wales right now. Tonight, though, a gusty southerly will sweep up the coast. That is going to trigger a significant drop in temperature for tomorrow. Around the nation for your Sunday, there's that continuing wet weather right along the east coast, and you can see that cold change. 14's the top for Melbourne, overcast for Hobart and Adelaide, nice and sunny for Perth. Statewide, the wet weather clears the far west, but elsewhere we'll continue to see showers, heavier falls expected in the northeast corner there. Closer in, cold, wet and windy tomorrow. Tops won't make it much past the mid-teens. On the coast, south-southwesterlies reaching 30 knots, so a strong wind warning is in place for our waters. For the CBD, a temperature range of 13 to 17 with showers and gusty winds. So Western Sydney will see the heaviest falls tomorrow. Not great news for the grand final, then lighter showers persisting all week. So it's a washout, Michael.
Isn't it? OK, Angie, thank you. 7 News for this Saturday. Stay with us now for the 2020 AFL Grand Final. I'm Michael Usher. Thanks for your company. Have a great night.